Hi everyone. This is the trip info session for South Africa with Women Travel Abroad, and the trip is August 19th to 28th, 2026. The highlights are the first half of the trip we spend in Cape Town, so you'll have the chance to explore the Bo-Kaap neighborhood, the one you see here that's super colorful. We'll have time as well to go out to the Franschhoek area for a wine tasting day, and then finally a day trip as well to the Boulders Beach area where you can hopefully see lots of little African penguins. The second half of the trip is spent at Thanda Private Game Reserve, and there you will see the Big Five, as well as spending your time in this really impressive luxury safari tent. So the itinerary is you arrive August 19th to Cape Town, where we'll have our welcome dinner. If you want to arrive a day early in order to have a bit more free time, you are more than welcome to, or just adjust to the time zone differences. Then we have August 20th is our guided tour day of Cape Town. This will focus on the history right in the central area of Cape Town, so Bo-Kaap, the Captain's Gardens, and the Victoria and Albert waterfront. There also in the afternoon is some free time if you want to go out to Robben Island, to the museum there, all about apartheid and the legacy of Nelson Mandela. That is one option. Another option is to take the cable car up to the top of Table Mountain for some spectacular views. Depending on the weather, we leave the Table Mountain excursion optional because if it's really windy and cloudy, it can mean that the gondola isn't running, and then your only option is to hike up and hike down, which is, well, worth doing. I've done it myself, but is a very intense physical excursion. So we leave that as optional. There are lots of other things to do in terms of shopping, museums, culture in Cape Town if you don't want to do Robben Island or the Table Mountain. Then we will do the Cape Winelands Vineyard Tour and wine tasting on the 21st. We'll go to Franschhoek and visit several different wineries. Then the 22nd, we go to Boulders Beach in the morning to spot some African penguins. And then in the afternoon, again, you'll have some free time available for shopping, rest, or maybe going to Table Mountain, depending on the weather. On the 23rd in the morning, we will fly to KZN, which is in the east of South Africa, and we'll transfer to our private game reserve. Then from there on out, we have daily game drives. So we'll have one game drive in the afternoon, evening on the 23rd. The 24th, you'll have a morning game drive and an afternoon game drive. We don't set times for those. It's really based on what our wildlife guide says. So they're typically in the morning around sunrise and then in the afternoon a little bit before sunset, but the schedule is very flexible and you have a lot of free time just to enjoy the pool, have a massage, really rest and relax at the Safari Lodge. The other great thing about the Safari Lodge is that beers, wines are included, all of your food's included. There's tea and coffee every day and little snacks and sweets. So it's really like an all-inclusive resort, but it's a safari lodge. The 25th, we will go to the wetland park and do our morning safari. Instead of it being a game drive through the savannah, we will do a safari on the river and mangroves. Hopefully, we'll spot hippos, crocodiles, a whole bunch of different bird life, and we'll also go to the beach just so you can see the coast of South Africa. And then the 26th is our last full day on safari. Again, you'll have twice daily game drives, morning and evening, and free time in between. The 27th, we will have an early morning game drive, and then we will catch our flights back to Cape Town. Because of the timing of the flights from the Safari Lodge back to Cape Town, and because of the timing of most flights from Cape Town back to the US and Canada, we have one night here at an airport hotel right by the Cape Town airport. This means we'll get in probably a little bit before dinner, have our farewell dinner, and then you can leave any time on the 28th. You'll be able to just go straight to the airport since we're staying right about 10 minutes away from it. So that makes it very convenient for departures. And many departures are quite early in the morning in terms of flights back to the US. So that gets you right there. So you can just take your flight home the next day. These are some photos from our trips to South Africa in previous years. Lots of wildlife. One of the really great things that Thanda does is they work very closely with the Zulu local communities. And so, as part of each stay, we have a bush dinner where some of the Zulu women come and give a dance performance. You'll learn about Zulu culture and also try a lot of the traditional foods. So it's a really special place. And besides just the wildlife, there's a lot of culture and history that you'll learn about through staying at Thanda. In terms of weather, the weather in Cape Town should be in the 60s, maybe low 50s. There could be some rain. It's the tail end of their rainy season, and the winter in South Africa. So I've personally been to South Africa in August, and it is perfectly pleasant. There were a few rainy days when I was there, but nothing that stopped us from enjoying our time. Safari, it'll be in the 70s during the day, but dropping down to be pretty cool in the evenings in the 40s. This is all in Fahrenheit. And so we do just really recommend packing layers. This is a great time when it's winter to go on safari because the landscapes are a little bit more barren, and so it makes it even better for spotting wildlife. Easier to see the leopards in the trees or the lions. So it's a great time for safari, but we do want to be mindful that it can be a bit cold, especially for those early morning game drives. So a fleece and some layers are helpful. And then we always recommend for safaris light colored clothing because this helps us blend in and see the wildlife better. The activity level on the trip is moderate. On the days in Cape Town, it's more active, 2 to 3 miles walking. On the safari portion, it'll be less active. You'll be in a Jeep. There's not a lot of walking that we have to do. The important thing is to make sure that you are comfortable going up and down stairs unassisted, that you can be on your feet for a few hours at a time, and that you'd be comfortable getting in and out one of the taller safari Jeep vehicles. They have little stairs to get in, but you are going to be in this vehicle for multiple hours each day on these game drives. There are no visas for US or Canadian citizens currently, so you just show up and get a passport stamp. And then finally, for this 10-day trip, the price is 7,345 USD in single occupancy. So that is your own private room in Cape Town and then your own private tent at Thanda. You have daily breakfast and dinner, 8 lunches, as well, all of the guiding, the transportation, including the round trip flights between Cape Town and the Thanda Lodge, and tips. So really, other than maybe a few souvenirs and any spa activities you want, everything else is included in that trip price. So we will leave it there, and I'm happy to take any questions.